What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving the 2025 GMC Sierra EV. Below me is a completely electric drivetrain because this is an all-new product for GMC. It's following in the footsteps of the Hummer EV and the Silverado EV, but now GMC gets a part of the fun with their Sierra. I'm also out here in Northern California at a GMC event, so you might see a couple different colors, a couple different variations throughout the video. We've spent a lot of time with the GMC Sierra EV, and I'm excited to share all of it with you today. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, just like this Sierra EV, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that fully electric drivetrain. Well, they still offer a gasoline engine Sierra. That's not going anywhere. But this is a ground up new vehicle, shared, of course, with the Chevy Silverado. The maximum range is 460 miles on a full charge. DC fast charging will go up to 350 kilowatt hours, which will give you 100 miles of range in about 10 minutes. If, of course, the charger is operating correctly. Through its electric drivetrain, it makes 760 horsepower and can tow up to 10,500 pounds. 0 to 60 is 4.5 seconds, and as you could probably tell, they gave me a whole lecture on this car before I drove it, but the numbers are important. What I found most interesting is that this is actually the first GMC product to allow to give charge back to a standard system. So GM is branching out with their GM Energy division, which is basically batteries and chargers for the home. But essentially, in the event of an outage, you can use the Sierra EV to power your home, pulling charge off of this truck's battery. Because the battery's so big, you have the capability to do that. If you did that with a smart car electric, your refrigerator would deplete it in about 30 seconds. So that is really, really cool and a fantastic feature of the Sierra EV. How does it feel to drive the Sierra EV? Well, it drives nice. It has that nice ride. It does have air suspension, which I mentioned earlier. And it has a lot of refined materials in here that we'll talk about a little bit later on, but you are big. This truck is big, and you feel every ounce of it. Now, visibility is pretty good, and we'll talk about, we do have a digital rear view mirror that helps that out. But in terms of driving dynamics, it drives like any other EV. You just feel that mass behind you, and you're up high, so it does give you quite the superiority complex while driving it. We also do have rear steering, which is fantastic. GMC says that it cuts down the turning radius to that of a small SUV. You can see here from this GoPro footage of it actually working. It fully does rear steer. And this also has the crab walk mode from the GMC Hummer EV to allow for more nimble driving. And we got to put it to the test out on a horse farm here in California, which was really, really cool to see in action and use it in a more practical setting rather than just a random empty parking lot. Watch what happens when you enable it. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a digital display. I like this. It is a little bit hard to see around the steering wheel, just because the steering wheel is a circle and the display is a rectangle. You see my point, but it does give you good information, and I like that. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our cruise control as well as our Super Cruise system. So this particular vehicle is equipped with Super Cruise. Very nice to see that. And off to the right, we have our music selectors, heated steering wheel, and things like that. Off to the left, we have a climate control vent and some nice wood accents. And down below, we have the power parking brake, suspension adjustment up and down, front tailgate, and gauge dimmer switch, along with the trailer brake settings. And on the door, we have 2 levels of memory seats, lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do have a giant infotainment display. Now, I have a very love-hate relationship with this. First of all, I love how big and clear it is. It's a very high frame rate, very high quality screen. It doesn't feel like they cheaped out in this area. However, it is a lot to look at, and there are several critical controls that are ran through the center screen, like headlights and fog lights. However, once you set them, you don't really need to hit them again unless you're doing pictures and video like me and you want to show them on and off. off, but I digress. Here's the backup camera. You also get a 360 camera on board here in the GMC Sierra EV, which is fantastic. Along within the screen, you do get different drive modes, but my favorite button in the drive mode screen is this little Thor's hammer, and this will let you unleash the full 760 horsepower that the Sierra EV has to offer. Down below, we have touchscreen options for the climate controls. I don't love this. I don't like touchscreen climate controls in any vehicle, but the GMC Sierra EV has gone that route, and I just have to deal with it. Although you do get some physical buttons down below for like temperature. Their icons are just on the screen, so that is nice. Then you get a wireless charger down below, probably one of the best looking wireless chargers I've seen in a modern car. It looks nice and proper. Then we do have cup holders, but before we do a big frame bottle test, you can actually move these cup holders out of the way to reveal a bigger storage area, which is really, really nice. But we'll do a big friggin' bottle test, and I am happy to report that it does in fact pass the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do get a big center console with a USB-C in there, and the seats. The seats are heated, and they are pretty comfortable. They definitely are more luxury than work truck seats, but if you're buying the Sierra EV, you've already skipped past the Silverado EV, which comes in the work truck format, so think luxury when you think Sierra EV, and I think the price reflects that. However, speaking of seats, if you want to be blown away, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2025 GMC Sierra EV, and there is so much space. I am swimming back here. And no, I'm not talking about the swimming pool that they staged one of these trucks next to. This back here has so much space. It is incredible. It's breaking my mind how much space I have in the back. Really, really, truly fantastic, industry leading, and I love it. I also have heated seats back here, pull down cup holders in the center console, and of course these seats do go down to operate the midgate. So this vehicle is equipped with a midgate, meaning you can actually open up into the bed of the rest of the truck to then add length to the bed if you're hauling longer objects like lumber. GMC tells me that with the MultiPro midgate engaged, you get 9 feet 1 inches of room. With the MultiPro midgate and MultiPro Tailgate engaged, you get 10 feet 10 inches, and with everything closed up, it's 5 feet 11 inches. So quite the variation in space around the back, but let's hop around back there and see what's up. So here we have that MultiPro Tailgate. So first of all, you can hit this button and just lower this down, bring this up, and it acts as a cargo stop for the back of the Sierra. Close this up, and then you can hit this button, and it is the full tailgate around the back of the Sierra. But then, hit that button, and there you go. Now you have a step into the back of the Sierra EV. Really, really cool. They've been doing this on the gasoline trucks for several years now, but cool to see that carried over to the Sierra EV. As we'll see up there, that is the midgate, which you can open. You remove the glass. It's kind of a process, but really, really cool that they have that. And that's standard on Sierra EV, but it's not standard on Silverado EV. Close this back up. There you go. That is the Pro Multi-Gate. Of course, we also do have a frunk because it is an EV, so hit it twice. The lights do a really cool pattern, and it will open up. Once we are up here, a couple of important things. You do have a 120 volt outlet up front. We have our charger and charger accessories, and I would say this is a pretty decent frunk. Is it the entire space up here? No, but there's other stuff that they need to fit, and I think this is good enough for groceries or smaller items, or basically if you're not moving into a new house, you could probably put most of your stuff up here, and it's going to be protected and out of the elements where it wouldn't be in the rear bed. So very, very cool to see that. Then we should have a button. How do we close this thing? Apparently we have cup holders up here. Do we not have a button? The next day I actually asked a GMC engineer where the button was, and it's all the way down on the bumper, which is really hard to see if you're over 4 feet tall. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I like the look of the Sierra EV. I think it looks better than the Silverado EV. I think it looks a little bit more fresh, a little bit more hip, but at the end of the day, you could clearly see that it is basically the same truck, so that is gonna come down to just taste of the owner more than anything else. So what are my final thoughts? What do I think, having spent not only the day, but actually 2 days driving the Sierra EV here just outside of San Francisco, California? Well, I've enjoyed my time with it. I always enjoy the new products, and I think as a gadget, it's really, really cool. The crab walking is a very cool and unique feature. The reverse charging, or the ability to give up charge to the home, is fantastic. And I think in terms of future tech, that's a really, really important piece of it. You can give back to the grid. You could sell the energy that you're not using. And I think that it has great features in here. I like the infotainment display that's almost 17 inches large. I like the seats. I like the materials. I like the open pore wood on the dash as they described it. I like the panoramic sunroof. I think all of it together is a really nice package. And you have to remember that this is a luxury truck. This is not the workhorse Chevy Silverado. And so when you see that nearly $100,000 price tag, you really are looking at a more luxury vehicle rather than something that you're gonna take to the job site like you would, or like Chevy would want you to do with the work truck Silverado EV. And so that's it. I think it is a nice, healthy, hefty upgrade of the Silverado EV on top of that. If the Silverado EV just doesn't cut the mustard, don't worry, there's something else for you, and it's this, the Sierra EV Denali. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to GMC for bringing me out here to California to drive this truck. They have been absolutely gracious hosts. Huge thank you to their team for detailing and cleaning these vehicles for us journalists. And of course, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association for connecting all of the dots. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.